Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shabbat, Shemakakwadash, and Shalom to the hopefully elect out there. And I'm going to entitle this video, The One People Shall Be Stronger Than the Other People. Jake is stronger than E. Anyway, I'm going to go into the actual scripture. I may do a word search on Edomites, Esau. But what I'm going to go into is the difference between us and E. And E is still here. I don't care what Vocab Malone says. Vocab Malone doesn't understand scriptures. But if you're an Edomite, you're going to be the last nation on the list as far as the kingdom is concerned. And you will be utterly destroyed. That's not me talking, that's the scriptures talking. I'm speaking scriptural. And Esau is still here among us. They're in the power seat. Because if they were in the power seat, then who is in the power seat? What ancient nation is in the power seat? This may lead me into other topics as well, but let me start from, I'll start from the 19th verse. Key point is in the 23rd verse. Because it says pretty much the same thing in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra, about Jacob and Esau. Esau being the end of the world, and Jacob being the beginning of it that followeth. This guy, what's his name? Geno Jennings, Pastor Geno Jennings, Apostle Geno Jennings. You know, he watches us, and he was afraid to debate the IUIC. You know, he ran, he hid from them. But to show you that he watches the various Israelite groups, is he did a video a couple of years back on the Apocrypha, the 2nd Ezra. What is that? 2nd Ezra 6, verse 9. And I'll go into it. And he said that Esau is talking about Jesus, which shows you that he didn't read the verses above that, the 9th verse, because it mentions Abraham, you know, Abraham and Isaac and so forth. It's just like it does in the 19th verse. So I'm going to read both of these scriptures. It says, and these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. When Isaac was 40 years old, when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Pandanaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. And the children, now the word there should be sons, struggled together within her. There was a major fight going on. When you look that word up, struggle, let me look up the word struggle. Okay, struggle. And the word there is ratazataza. To crush, oppress, to crush, get crushed, be crushed, to crush, crushed, to be crushed, be broken, to crush each other. A primitive root, to crack in pieces, literally or figuratively, break, bruise, crush, discourage, oppress, struggle together. This is why these Edomite police and Esau looks at you the way they do, because that's that spirit. What they have in them is the spirit of Esau, and what you have in you is the spirit of Jacob, of Israel. When have you heard of a Chinese man, a Chinese national, or Chinese born in this country, pulled over by police and beat the hell out of and killed and shot up? You don't hear that. You don't hear that. You don't hear that among the East Indians, the people of Pakistan. You don't hear that. Any nation, anytime you hear a cop shoots a 21-year-old man, but it seems like his back, he got shot in the back. Before they show the faces, you already know that it's going to be a Jake that was shot up or beat the hell out of, and it's normally Edomite cops. But now you have Jake that's beating the hell out of it and shooting up Jake, because really they're thinking like an Edomite. They're doing the bidding of an Edomite. So it's that spirit. They're on top. They got vengeance on us, and they're gonna beat the hell out of us any chance that they get, on an intellectual level, on a financial level, on a religious level. What did they do? They put their images up top, and that shit is played out. That shit is played out. That the Jesus Christ movies is played the fuck out. I can't wait till they make another Jesus Christ. You know what I mean by that? Jesus Christ. I can't wait till they make a movie on that, because that'll be a topic for me. That shit is played the fuck out. Thanks to us Israelites that the Most High put the spirit on us. That whole thing came about, and that's so-called white supremacy. That's why when you go to white people down south, you ask them what color Jesus is, they're gonna say white. Then if you show them that he had woolly hair, they'll say, well, it was talking about his face. Oh, really? So he came down in his glorious body with the disease of leprosy. Leprosy that has nothing to do with being white. Oh, really? Let's go to Numbers 12 and 10. We can go to many other scriptures on that. The law on a leopard, a clean leopard and an unclean leopard. You people are clean leopards. That's why you can go to the doctor's office, and a doctor that's an Edom, that appears to be an Edomite, he has leprosy, but it's a clean leopard. That's why he can, tell you to take your shirt off and, put certain instruments on you to see what your blood pressure is, your glucose, your sugar levels, whether you're diabetic or not, whether you had a heart attack, a stroke. Then they give you a prescription. So they're touching on you. Now they're putting stuff in you. They're right next to you. They're breathing on you. But you don't get contaminated, because these people are clean leopards as opposed to unclean leopards. Miriam would be considered a clean leopard, because the test is to put that person out for 7 days, and when they come back, they'll come back not getting worse or starting to heal back. So anyway, so it's not about skin color. It's about the spirit. Jacob detected a evil spirit in his brother, and his brother was that evil spirit. The two opposing spirits. So they're on top, as we all know. Basically, what was going on was a death match, a death match in the wombs. They were trying to kill each other. That's why they kill you like they do now. That's what they do to you like they do now. It all goes back to Esau. The whole story is the whole thing about the scripture is a story of forget about the other nations. The story of Jacob and Esau. It's all about that. Esau is on top, and we on the bottom, and we're getting ready to get on top, and they're gonna go to the bottom. I don't give a damn how many times Vocab alone comes out to the camps and try to push in the Gentiles. Well, first of all, let's say Vocab is right. Yes, Gentiles can get in if they try hard enough. Yeah, but what about Esau? Esau's not. There's no Edomites that's going to make it. Even if the Gentiles make it, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it in that thing. Which none of the Gentiles are going to live like Israelites. So let me come back. And these are the generation of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, because they were living in the land called Syria, of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord Yahweh for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord Yahweh, the Lord, was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. 2 nations. 2 nations. Nations start with one person, right? Israel started with one person, Abraham. That's why Abraham's name was changed from Abram to Abraham. Abram, Abaram, meaning exalted father, and Abraham means father of a multitude, father of many, because out of that one seed, Abraham came who? Isaac. And Isaac had Jacob and Esau, and out of Jacob and Esau, out of Jacob is a mighty nation. And then Esau is also a mighty nation as well. But that's the the opposite of the righteous. And you can't get around it. If you're an Edomite, you might look like an Edomite and might be a Jake. You might look like a Jake or Israelite and might be an Edomite. That's what we call tears. That's the last thing you want to be, man. That's the last thing you want to be. You don't want to be. If you're gonna be anything on this planet, you the last thing you want to be is an Edomite. You might as well be a damn roach or a snake. We ain't gonna go around beating the hell out of snakes and lions and stuff. You better hope that you come back as a dog. You'll be all right. You're gonna be lower than the dog. You're gonna be lower than a cockroach, a mouse. I wouldn't want to be an Edomite. That's a topic right there. I wouldn't want to be an Edomite for all the gold in the world. I wouldn't want to be an Edomite for all the tea in China. If you said I'm gonna give you $1 trillion, you're gonna be a trillionaire. I'm gonna give you $1 trillion, but you gotta be an Edomite. I said, no, you can take that $1 trillion and shove it. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto her, two nations are in thy womb. How can you get, even Farrakhan said that, how can you get two nations out of two little babies? Because he was doing, I think, a speech on Jacob and Esau, but he didn't, well, he's going about dealing with the true nation of Israel, which he knows who we are. Farrakhan watches us. He knows he's an Israelite. He knows the people that he's speaking to are Israelites, but they're not going to see it unless he tells them. That's called a code of personality. That's what Zariak has, a code of personality. Uh, Bishop Nathaniel, code of personality. Am I a code of personality? If you want to make me one, but no, I don't carry myself as a code of personality. I'm just Tahar, a man that goes out there and teach the truth and defend the gospel. That's the attitude you got to take. Not that cult. Even Bruce Lee said that. I don't like that word superstar, man. What that means is if you become a superstar, you're a cult of personality. But guess what? He didn't want to be a superstar. He didn't want to be a cult of personality. But guess what? Bruce Lee became a cult of personality. Oh, Al-Azhar, a cult of personality. And it's not a good thing or bad. It doesn't mean if you're a cult of Yahweh Shai, the so-called white Jesus, the other white meat, he's a cult of personality. When the Lord was on the scene, he became a cult of personality. So you can be a cult of personality in the back. Adolf Hitler, a cult of personality. You can have a man that's a righteous, good man, that's a cult of personality. And then you can have a wicked man, the opposite of that, also a cult of personality. Oh, Donald Trump, he's definitely a cult of personality. And we're going to see what's going to happen today because he's supposed to turn himself in. But, well, Alex Jones said this last night. He said that I believe that Donald Trump will be president again. And I believe that too. I mean, I didn't have a dream on it. It's not a prophecy. So let me qualify that. But I think, my thinking that he might, because he's out there talking and riffing, and these Edomites, and a lot of Jakes follow him. Just believe it or not, a lot of Jakes follow him. Compared to this current president. So if he does become president, I will definitely say that's Nero. That's Nero. I say it now. That's Nero, Emperor Nero coming back. But if he becomes president again, that's definitely Nero. And he said he's going to bring the guillotines with him, and that's what Nero is known for. Not guillotines, but executions. There was a, what was it called? What's the term? Not Nerinian persecution. If I'm saying it right, pronouncing it right. If you look it up, it'll come up. Nerinian persecution, where he had a campaign of killing as many Jakes, Christians and Jews, more so Christians, because they were doing what we're doing now, because we are them coming back. We were the Christians back then. We were the ones that were in Rome that was kicked out of Rome by what's this guy? Not Nero. Keep forgetting this guy's name. But it'll come back to me. Damn, I hate that. I hate that. Now I'm mad. I want to find it. Let me do this. A list of Roman emperors. Well, you just mentioned what you just mentioned, Trajan. Trajan was he was a Jake. Caracalla was a Jake. Domitian was an Edomite. Parthenex was an Israelite. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Get right to the list. Okay, Julius, Augustus. By the way, the first 12 starting with Julius. Those are the 12 feathers in Second Ezra 11 and Second Ezra 12. It has nothing to do with America. So you got Bishop Nate talking about that's talking about America. It's not America's not mentioned in Second Ezra 11 and Second Ezra 12 at all. Claudius. He was the one that banished the Israelites out of okay, I didn't know this. They're saying it says of Claudius, Tiberius Claudius Caesar, Augustus, Germanicus, and it says he ruled for 13 years, 8 months, and 19 days. So we're talking almost 14 years. He had a long rule. Um, uncle of Caligula, uncle of Caligula. So that's family ties. Grandnephew of Augustus. So all these Caesars were related in one way or another. Uncles, sons, proclaimed emperor by the Praetorian Guard, that's the military, and accepted by the Senate. Okay, he died at age 63, began the Roman conquest of Britain. That's why when you go into the beast, one of the places that you mentioned is the UK or Britain. It says probably poisoned by his wife, Agrippina, in favor of her son Nero. Now I don't know if Nero is the actual son of Caligula. I got to go more into it. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me go to Agrippina. Also referred to as Agrippina the Younger, was a Roman empress, which is like the first lady from 49 to 54 AD, the fourth wife and niece of Emperor Claudius. The fourth wife and niece of Emperor Claudius. And the mother of Nero, but it doesn't say whether he was a father. And then Nero came in after. And then Nero wound up killing. Hold up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Tell me that's not fucking. Tell me that's not uh, uh tell me that's not Donald Trump. Tell me that doesn't look like Donald Trump. And that's when he was younger, because he grew a chin beard. Look at the hair. Look at the fat face. Tell me that's not. Tell me that's not. And it doesn't mean that reincarnation got to look like the person in the past, but sometimes that happens. That's definitely, in my spiritual opinion, that's definitely this guy looks just like Trump. Trump has to be that guy. Like I said, if he becomes the president again, then that's definitely Nero. and he's going to bring back the Trumpian. We call it the Trumpian persecution. So if he comes back in and he does what he did when he was Nero, his focus is going to be on the Israelites. So let's see. Let's see. This is my spiritual opinion. It's not a prophecy. Well, Tahar, you said this. You prophesied. No, I said it's my opinion. My spiritual opinion. Okay, so it said that they're all fucking related. It says grandnephew, stepson, son-in-law, and a adopted son of Claudius, great grandson of Augustus. So they were all related. They were all Edomites. It said committed suicide after being deserted by the Praetorian Guard and sentenced to death by the Senate. And you gotta have some knowledge of these that part of the Roman Empire, the part of the 12 Caesars, as we call it, because it's all throughout the Bible. So let me see here. Let me get back. Let me get back over here. Let me get back over here. Bear me for a minute. So, like I said, we're in a wait and see mode. We're in a wait and see mode. Let me do this. Let me do this here. Nero and Trump. Let me put Trump. Nero, Trump. Donald Trump, the American. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't know this was going to come up, man. Jerusalem Post, Donald Trump, the American Nero. Nero Claudius Augustus Germanicus, the fifth emperor of Rome, was popular with the lower classes for cutting taxes. Historians have, let me click on this. Donald Trump, the American Nero opinion. Washington Watch historians have called the Roman Emperor Nero tyrannical, self-indulgent, and debauched. He is also widely regarded as the worst of all emperors. Now this is acting up. Okay, let me come back over here. So look at this. It is the Boston Post. And this was put up in 2020. The hell? How do you take this off? Anyway, Here you can see part of it. Trump tweets a meme of himself comparing himself to Roman Emperor Nero. He's fiddling. Bear with me for a minute. Wait, so who is Nero and why are people comparing him? And we here at GMS, Great Millstone said it first that we believe Trump is Nero coming back. Did I hit this already? Let's come back. No, I didn't. It says wait, so it says wait, so fucking bullshit. Wait, so who is Nero and why are people comparing him to Trump? Because he is Trump. That's the Washington Post. So now let's go to images. Nero, Donald Trump. The same nose, except he has a chin beard, the full hair. Get some others. See, they're comparing him to Nero, but they don't know that he is Nero. This is Commodus. That's Commodus right there. That's the son of what's his name? The Emperor Aurelius Maximus, I believe his name was. That's Jake. Jake gonna come with the lion head. He's fully bearded. Okay, what does it say? Commodus. Yeah, Commodus as Hercules. Okay, let me take the word Commodus. Shh. Let me try it this way. I'll give you the father in a minute. Let me show you the rest of these. They keep comparing Trump to Nero. And look at this. Look at this here. That's Nero. That's Nero and that's Trump. Look at that. Look at the chin. And look at the ears. Look at the nose. Look at the chin. Look at the lips. The eyes. That's Trump. Don't tell him you can't, you don't understand reincarnation. It's not a biblical belief system. Narrow while Rome burned, zero while California burns. Anyway, let me do this. Let me go to comment this. Comment this. I want to get his father. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius, all of his busts, they have full beard. You can see his hair, the curly, woolly hair. He's a Jake. That's when Jake took over. Anyway, let's come back into this. Let's go back into this. And this is proof that we're stronger than Esau because we take everything Esau sets up, we take it over. Oh, the UFC. I went into the UFC rankings, and Jake just dominates the UFC rankings. Okay, so let me read this again. It says, and Yahweh said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. Let's look up the word nations. Gawaya, which is nation, people, nation, usually of a non-Hebrew people, of descendants of Abraham, of Israel, of a swarm of locusts, other animals, nations, Goyim, Gawayim. Gawaya means nations. So out of Jacob came the largest nation on the planet Earth, and out of Esau came a major nation in the planet Earth. So let's come back over here. Two nations are in that womb, and two manner of people. Two manner of people. Let's look up the word manner. Manner. Okay, manner. It says it's going to say people. Let me see. Let me check it out. A people nation. They don't give you the word for manner, which is la aim, which means the people. Aim is people, or aim yum. People or peoples. Doesn't say manner though. Let me do this. Let me look up the word manner. I just want to get the biblical definition. Manner. Let me see if it comes up here. After the manner of women. Okay, I think I found it. Arach. Way. That's what I wanted. Way, path, road, pathway, way of living, wayfarer, way, way of living. We live different from Esau. We the food that we eat is different than Esau. Than what Esau eats. When we have our meat like a steak, we like it. Jake likes it well done. Esau likes it, medium and even raw. Jake doesn't eat raw. You got these simple ass nigga women that'll go get with the white man and she'll eat a raw steak just to please this man, but she don't like it on the inside. There was this one woman, she was a newscaster. I forget her name. She did a documentary, and she was at a restaurant. So the guy, the chef said, "How you like your steak?" And she had this like look on her face, like, yeah, like she felt embarrassed, and she said, I hate to say this, but I like it well done. Well done. Look just like an Edomite. And I said, well, she's a Jake. So what was her name? Tish Reagan, I think her name was. Tish Reagan. And she's Irish. So when she said, let me do this. I'm sorry. I'm a little all over the place. Tish Reagan. No, I want Tish Reagan. Tish. Okay, there she goes. Tish Reagan. Or Trish Reagan, I'm sorry. Okay, here she goes. Yeah, she got a lot of face work done. Let me go to images. She's of Irish descent. If you look her up, she's of Irish descent. So let me go to the. Okay, this is that. She had a lot of face work done. She got a lot of face. It looked like her when she looked when she was younger. She used to be on, I believe she was on Bloomberg, if I'm not mistaken. Then she went on Fox. You can look at her, she looked like a white woman, but she said to the chef, he said, how do you like your steak? And she said, she looked down in embarrassment. She said, I like it well done. Well, that's a Jake right there. That's a Jake. Okay, so this is one, I guess she was in high school. Looked completely different. See, these news people, boy, they start making that money and they get their faces changed up. And pretty girl right there, but you can clearly see that she's got face work done. All these women do that, man. They get that face work. But she looked like an Edomite, but she's a Jake. That's her and her husband and the kids. And that's how you know, a good indication how you know, well, wait a minute, there's certain Edomites that like this steak's well done. Nope, not Esau, not Esau, not Esau. So let's come back over here. Please forgive me, I'm all over the place. But there's lessons within lessons. You can hear Jake over the phone and know right off the bat that that's a Jake. There's a certain tone in Jake's voice, especially men. Uh, you can see Jake walking down the street from the back, and you can tell it's a Jake by his gait, by the way he walks. You can see another man walking down the street. He might look like an Edomite or more. He might walk the gait of a Moabite or Edomite. That's why the scriptures, let me come over here, let me come back over here. That's why the scriptures say that we're two different types of people. Two different types of people. You watch dancing, like a TV show of dancers, or you go out to the club, you can tell who the Edomite is and who the Jake is. You might have went out with a Jake chick, and you go out to a club when you were young, and she's off. You get the first thing pop in your head. This is damn tear right here. And I'm not dealing with her no more. This is a tear. She trying to get it, but she ain't got it. The rhythm is off. That's part of the manner, your rhythm. Sports, anything that we get into, we dominate. Why? Because we're stronger than the other nation. Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be what? Separated from thy bowels. That's why there was a fight, a death match going on. That's what it meant. When you look that word up, struggle, when you go to the root word in the Hebrew, the word means a death. They were having a death match. But they only had so much strength as infants. And the one people shall be what? Stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger, because they did service at one time. They got their vengeance, mainly through the Roman Empire. When you go to Ezekiel, what is that, 25 and 12 on down, when it speaks about vengeance, the vengeance came when the Romans took us down. The Romans knew that they were the Edom, the elite Romans knew that they were the Edomites. That's why it says in Luke, these are the days of vengeance. Matter of fact, let me go to that. It's either Luke 19 or Luke 21. Luke 19. Spell out the word vengeance. Let's try 20. Okay, let's try 21. Okay, I got it. Okay, let me come back over here. Luke 21, Matthew 24, and Mark 13 are talking about two events, 70 AD and this current destruction that's getting ready to come on the system. Let me start from the 20th verse. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies at 70 AD, then know that the desolation, which is Daniel 9. Now I got to go to Daniel 9. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. There's lessons within lessons, and I'm keeping with the topic. You got to know the Rome. You got to know some Roman history. You have to have some knowledge of the ancient Roman history, pagan Roman history. Let's see what it says here. Cambridge didn't say nothing because they don't have the answers. And it also takes you to Luke 19:43. It says, "For the days shall come on you that your enemies shall cast a trench about you and compass you round and keep you in on every side. Now that trench, the word trench, the Greek word is, I believe is karax. I believe it's karax. And I can even find out, which is a physical thing. When you look up the word MOTB, some regarded this as the abomination that maketh desolate. Well, that's what it is during the time of the Romans. See, they ain't telling me nothing, man. And when ye shall be see Jerusalem compassed with armies, that's the Romans, 70 A.D., then know the fulfillment of Daniel 9, verse 24 to 27. These Christians are saying it's talking about the rapture and the anti. No, it already happened. That the desolation thereof is nigh. The desolation of what? Of Jerusalem, 70 A.D. And it really started back in 66 AD, all the way into 74 AD, 75 AD. Okay, so this one it says, then let them which are in Yahweh flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let them that are in the countries enter therein too. It's not talking about now. The heads, the seven at one West used to teach that Revelation. They went into this too. Revelation 18 and 4. They said you got to get passports so we can hop on planes so we can go to South America. They were clearly going off. When it says come up out of her, that means the ships are going to come down and the Lord's going to beam us up. The angels are going to say, come up out of her. Then we're going to come out. Get the command, we're going to come up. Let's see what it says right here. The expansion most. They're almost afraid to say the Romans. See, you're going to see Rome up in here, I don't think. Okay. I think they, okay, 20 and 21, by armies, can camp armies, that is, besiege the abomination of desolation, meaning the Roman ensign as a symbol of an idolatrous pagan unclean power. They did say Roman, spoken by Daniel the prophet, right? 9 and 27. Daniel 9:27, standing where it ought not be. Matthew 13 and 14, whoso readeth that prophecy, let him understand. That was during the time of the siege of the Romans. For these be the days of vengeance. Vengeance means I'm going to get you back for something that you did to me in the past. What do we do to them in the past? We enslaved them during the time of the King David. And then there was a time where they broke from the yokes. So they always sought to get vengeance of us. So they got vengeance of us when they took us down as the Romans. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And I reference Ezekiel 20, what was that, 25 and 12, one down. It speaks about vengeance. Let me do this. Here it is again. Let me read the statement. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So when was that? When was this fulfilled? 70 AD. That's why we believe Nero's back here again, because this is the Roman Empire coming back again. The rebirth of the Roman Empire, Revelation 13. By armies encamped, armies that is besieged, the abomination of desolation, meaning the Roman ensigns as a symbol of an adulterous, pagan, unclean power. The adulterous, pagan, unclean power are the Romans, spoken of by Daniel, Daniel 9, verse 27. So we're 100% right. That's why you got a vocab constantly coming against us, trying to demonize us, because we got the truth. That's why you had a group called the Canary Mission coming against the IUIC, because this is overwhelming now. Too many people are watching these videos. The next step, they want to get us off of YouTube. They just want to get us off the web altogether, because this truth is coming out. Because the truth got to come out first. Let me come here. I don't need this no more. Let me go to 2 Thessalonians 2. They're being revealed. That's the Renaissance period, the 4th verse. And now you know what withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. When is he being revealed? Right now, more so than what the apostles said, because they didn't say that the Roman Empire are a bunch of Edomites and they're a bunch of devils. No, we're saying that. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. That's a Roman Empire. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And that's us, the Lord speaking to us, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So this has to be proclaimed. Proclaim ye this among the heathen, declare war. So we're the herald. Herald means a prophet, another word for saying prophet. So we have to be here, and we have to be on this, what do you call this? This is the altar. This is the altar. As I always say, America is an altar in Isaiah 34. This is the altar. So on the altar, you have the spokesman, you have the spiritual leaders that tell you what's going to happen. That's us. So one of the main arguments that we push out there is that this man's going down by thermonuclear destruction. It's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be a sacrifice. And with sacrifice, you need animals. Who's going to play the part of the animals? You Edomites and you Jakes that ain't right, and you other nations. Go back and read Isaiah 34. Read it from the 5th verse. Read the whole chapter. It speaks about this place as being what would I say? A podium, not a podium, an altar. This America is an altar. So we have to stand on the altar, and we have to speak the words of the Most High. And then after we speak the words, okay, you spoke the words. Now I'm gonna beam you up, and I'm gonna make this place a sacrifice. I'm gonna sacrifice by fire. Okay, let me come over here now. There's Satan up there. Okay, let me see. Where am I? Okay, I said that the scriptures say in Genesis 25 that they were stronger, right? The elder shall serve the younger. That happened. We're serving them now. They're going to serve us again. Then they're going to be destroyed. Where am I at? This is what I wanted to go into. Where the hell is it? Okay, I want to deal with rankings, proving that we're stronger. Anything that we get into, we dominate. So this is the UFC rankings, right? Number one on the list is Jon Jones, as of right now. This guy didn't fight in like 4 years, and he's still number one. You got Leon Edwards. He beat Uma over the weekend. He's from out of England. Jake, dark-skinned Jake at that. Israel Adesanya. He's Nigerian, which is a Jake. Here's a picture of him. There's a picture of him. He's straight up Jake. He's a Nigerian as well. They're Jakes. So ISUPK need to go back and, you know, that I met Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a cool brother. We spoke a few words, and he acknowledged me. I said, you know, may the Lord force be with you in your endeavors. A very, very cool brother. Alex Pereira is Brazilian, Asher. And he beat Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya was beating everybody, and he came along and beat him. That's the third time he beat him. Charles Oliveira from Brazil, Jake. He's Issachar. Look at that. That's Issachar. I don't always check. Now the Czechs are Israelites. A lot of them Israelites. Dustin Poirier. He kind of looks. We don't know. He got that Mediterranean, but he's from American so-called white man. This guy here, Robert Whitaker. He's a Jake. He's from the South Pacific, but you had a lot of Jakes here. Max Holloway. He from Hawaii, but he's a Jake. He probably Issachar or even Ephraim, because you had a lot of Ephraimites that that went to Hawaii. Now this is the women, top women. Amanda Nunes, she's Brazilian. I don't really get into the women all that much. Your top ranking heavyweights, Jon Jones. This is a guy that he beat, which I knew Jon Jones was going to walk over him because he's not a grappler. He's a kickboxer. I said once Jon Jones, you know, clinched him, the fight was over. And he was scared to death. This guy was scared to death. Like, I hope he doesn't clinch me. Stipe Miocic, I believe he's a Jake. I believe he's definitely a Jake. He got the flavor of a Jake. These are your top rankings. Then you got to picture this guy. Dominic Reyes, which he kind of fell off. He played, I don't know if he's in it. He's a former, he played ball in college, and I believe pro. Okay, this is for the middleweights. Jake, 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 He appears to be an Edomite. Jake, Brazilian. Jake, Jake, that's your number one. That's your champion. That's your number one. Jake, Brazilian. Then you got those Eastern Bloc countries, the Chechens and the what is it, Dagestan and Russia. They're the only Edomites that can compete with Jake, but a lot of them are Israelites. But there goes your top rankings. O'Brien, Ortega, Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, Issachar. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to close this. Let me just go into one more thing. This is what I did. I put in your African Americans in initially have better rhythm. Why are black people so good with rhythm music? Is it racist to say that black people tend to be better dancers than white people? No, it's a fact. It's a fact. Why don't white people have rhythm while dancing? Now, some of them do, but guess what? If there's rhythmic as a Jake, they're Jake that looks like an Edomite. Or so we're waiting for you to dance, Vocab Malone. We want to see some of your dance steps. We want to see you, David Woods, and your the Sicilian boy, the Sicilian boy. It's, it says, so we can tell by the way, that's why I said this. I said, I can tell by the way somebody dances whether he's a Jake or not. There's a good indication that he may be a Jake. Or the black people who can't dance or have poor sense of rhythm. Or they're black people who can't dance or have poor sense of rhythm. Yeah, that would most likely be an Edomite. That most likely would be a tear. The person looks like a black person, but he moves like an Edomite. That's most likely an Edomite. But you got Jakes that are not the great dancers either. Lionel Richie, he can't dance, but he can sing, and he's a Jake. Are black people born with a natural rhythm? And the answer is yes, to dance compared to whites. Exactly. Are most black people good at dancing? Absolutely. Why do black people like to dance so much? Because we're a rhythm. That's part of our DNA. Is dancing and African Americans DNA. We're a rhythmic people. All the music, the popular music that came from America, all popular music came from America, right? Well, who started these different genres of music? It was Jake, the ragtime Jake, uh, the the orchestra era, Jake, and then you had this guy Miller. What's this guy? He took over the whole thing, so-called Jew, because so-called Jews love music too. But some of them might be Jake, but a lot of them are Edomites. Hip hop, Jake. They used to talk shit about hip hop, man. Now they're celebrating 50 years of hip hop. So now the big controversies between who really started hip hop. So you got Puerto Ricans that are saying that no, Puerto Ricans came in after Jake. But Puerto Ricans or the Latin tribes did contribute to it after the fact, because there are people too. They're Israelites. And guess what? Who's super rhythmic? Jake in America, the West Indians, Benjamin, Levi. Music comes out of all these cultures. World music, world music. Puerto Rico, you got salsa, you got merengue, you know, the Dominicans, you got bachata, with all these different dances, man. All these different these types of music. All the tribes, all the tribes, all the tribes. Gad. When do you when you want to go see Gad, where do you go to a powwow? What's at the powwow? They're dancing and they're playing drums. And it's rhythmic, man. It's rhythmic. You put it on YouTube and put in a fancy dance, and that's like you have competitions among Gad, and they're Jake. They're straight up Jake. They're super rhythmic, man. The drums is a is a rhythm. It's a rhythm. It's a rhythm. Then the rhythm changes a little bit. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.